you got a $36 million ace on the mound, and he can't use his, his Spider Tack. And in a day like it was yesterday, whether it be at Citi Field or out in Detroit, I mean, they're pretty much similar days.
Yeah.
He's going to have major problems, and he's had major problems early in these games. This is 3 in a row stinkers for him. And you talk about signing guys to long-term contracts. And
but this one was, this wasn't the same type of trajectory. This wasn't like a guy who you're signing him to a long-term contract and then, in his late 30s, he's a shell of himself. This is a guy who went from the most dominant pitcher in baseball to pedestrian because they took away a substance that he was using that made him dominant.
All right, I don't want to get hung up on all the negative here, but I mean it is obvious that they have a problem. They got a $36 million problem, and he's got to figure it out. And he can maybe he'll get better when he gets warmer. I don't know. They won the game. That's all that really truly matters. But when you really break it down and you say, okay, what are the problems? You don't want to think that your ace is a problem. I mean, for the Mets, at least we had a backup ace, and his name was Max Scherzer, and he was dealing last night, and he was dealing, in a situation where they had already used a lot of their relievers in the game before him.
That's right.
As Tyler McGill tried to keep the game as close as he can, he kept it tied essentially, and didn't have his best stuff. And it's kind of interesting listening to Ronnie Darling and Gary talking about the San Francisco Giants are the third least team, or the team that swings at the first pitch the least amount of time, something crazy like that. And they were up there just hacking away because they knew that Tyler McGill likes to throw strikes on the first pitch. So why not go up there and go swinging? So they had a different approach, and they got to him a little bit. But, both Francisco Lindor and Max Scherzer earned their money yesterday. They earned their status. They earned their money. They lived up to the back of their baseball card, and that's why Met fans like you and me this morning are totally stoked. And on top of that, I got a Rangers shutout. That's 3 in a row for the Rangers last night, even though I'm reticent to go all in just yet because I still think we give up way too many high scoring chances, grade A scoring chances. And, of course, Shesterkin has been amazing this year. He's been unbelievable. And what makes him so good is that he has this ability to handle the puck that, the previous great goaltender we had in Henrik, that wasn't his strong suit. This turns out to be like a third defenseman back there a lot of times, which takes a lot of pressure off the young defenders, but way too many high scoring chances still. So when you come out of it, you're like, all right, they won 3-0, but... And the reality is if you look deeper and you look at the nuances of the game, there are some things that they're giving up. Now, there's a good chance that they can end up playing the Washington Capitals in the first round of the playoffs now because the Capitals are 1 point behind the Pittsburgh Penguins in the standings, and they have 1 game in hand. And the Capitals are playing well, and the Penguins haven't been playing well here finishing the season. So, hey, man, all I can tell you is I wake up this morning, I'm happy, man. And I think for the most part, New York fans should be happy. You got basically 4 winners coming out of yesterday, even though Gerrit Cole was still a blemish on the Yankees' radar.
Sure. I mean, I think that's a bigger problem. That's a 30,000 feet in the air problem for the Yankees, for sure. But, winning that game and not losing another one and still being right there in the division and not falling behind. I mean, if you look at the Mets in their division right now, I mean, everybody else is under 500. I mean, I know it's early April, but you like to see that. The closest team is 3.5 games behind you already, and you got the best record in baseball. And what makes me feel good about it being sustained, and I know we could probably, potentially play this back in September and laugh at how excited we were because a bunch of stuff went wrong, which could always happen in a baseball season. But the reasons why I think this is, sustainable is you got real leaders. I mean, real, legit, proven leaders on this team, and Buck Showalter being the manager, being the top one there, and Max Scherzer is another one. I mean, this guy, he even said it. He said, I had to go out there and I had to go 7 regardless because of what happened, with the bullpen and the doubleheader, what happened in game 1, extra innings and all that. And he's 38 years old. He's making $40-something million, and he's out there pitching like it's Game 7 of the World Series. And you just love to see that. You just love it. So as down as I was at the beginning of the season because of the lockout and all the nonsense, this team has all those elements that make you want to come back for more.
Winning.
Yeah, but in the you don't even feel like they're out of it. Like how many years past, 4-1 lead might as well be 40-1. And a deficit, rather. Might as well be a 40-1 deficit, especially against a good baseball team like the Giants.
So here we are, like 12 games into the season, you feel this way about the Mets. Imagine if you're a Ranger fan and you're 76 games into the season, or 77 games into the season, and you see that
it's a crapshoot. The Stanley Cup playoffs.
I know,
but
what I'm saying though is that they won 50 games, and it's like, all right, that was somewhat unexpected. I think that everybody thought the team was going to be better. I don't necessarily know that they thought they were going to be this much better, but it certainly helps when your goalie is playing out of his mind, and he's probably going to win the trophy this year because of his performance. But I would just say, in regards to your leadership thing, that is the most important aspect of all these teams, especially when you bring in mercenaries. Let's face it. Francisco Lindor is not a mercenary. He's going to be here for the next 10 years. Max Scherzer is a mercenary. It's a short-term contract, a high-dollar contract, and he's here for exactly what he did last night. And he lived up to every ounce of the billing that we have for him and what we expect from him, especially given the state of the starting pitching for the New York Mets. And then, of course, there's Francisco Lindor. I came into this year hoping that he was going to have some sort of a bounce back year and at least get off to a decent start. He's gotten off to a better than a decent start. He's gotten off to a great start. And he came through yesterday in extra innings, and he came through in the nightcap as well. So now maybe he's a little bit more comfortable. And the other thing, too, I see the smile. I see all that kind of stuff that I saw last year. And I don't just see a lot of the hijinks and all the nonsense that we saw last year.
Yeah.
Why? Because as an adult in the dugout, who I believe, they're going to lose their share of games. We all know that. But he's a coach, a manager. When you show up to the ballpark, and you and I talked about this the other day, and of course they wrote about it and everybody was talking about it, and that was what he did on the appeal play and how that worked out. And then, of course, now the writers, the people that are covering the team, go to the players and they start asking the players about that play. Pete Alonso says, I've never seen that play, but I know that we've talked about that play, we've practiced that play, and we all expected for J.D. Davis to run on that play, to get the play active. And it's like the team knew about it. If that were the team last year, would we have known about it?
No, and I'll give you two more examples from yesterday. And both of them happened in the 10th inning of Game 1. The first of which is it's the top half of the 10th. You got the Thairo Estrada ground ball to Francisco Lindor, bad throw, pulls Pete Alonso off the bag. I mean, when I watched that in real time, and then even when I watched the first replay, I said he's off the bag.
Yeah, we all felt the same way.
Right. So then, when I see that it's being challenged, I go, "Well, this is a waste of time. Like, why even wasting our time?" And he does a why not? They find a frame in which he is out. Where Pete is just. The ball's just touching his glove. His foot is still on there, and they find that one frame where, this would drive you nuts if you were on the other side of it. But there it is, right there, where the ball is in the glove for a split nanosecond, and he's out. So that's another one of those great things. And then also the sneaky double switch situation, getting Brandon Nimmo to be the ghost runner on second base. Those are two things right there on top of the appeal play from the other night that other managers, especially here, have not done. That you could say those moves yesterday resulted directly in a victory for the Mets in that first game.
Yeah, I think the replay was an easy one, just simply because what he got to lose.
Yeah,
the double switch, whether he meant it to be that way or, the Giants were going to have none of it. You know what I'm saying? But this is a couple of times now where we have seen where a manager's decision or a manager's preparation, if you will, with his players has paid off. And you guys make fun of me for years and years and years and years when he was the manager of the Orioles and he'd be giving the Yankees fits. And I'd be like, it's Buck Showalter, it's Buck ball. It is what it is. The guy can read the rule book inside and out. He's pushing all the right buttons right now. Plus, he's getting, top-level performances from the guys that they have brought here.
Yeah.
And that's the other good part of it is, whether you want to credit Billy Epler, you want to credit Sandy Alderson, whoever you want to credit for what they're getting out of some guys. And remember, now, Canna is still not back yet.
That's right.
So he's got the COVID thing. Maybe he'll be released today. Who knows? Maybe he's got a few more symptoms than Brandon Nimmo had. But
Buck's not going to be there tonight.
Really?
He's got the medical procedure that he says they didn't say what it was. He didn't say what it was after the game. But he said he's having a medical procedure that's hopefully only going to keep him out for tonight. And then he's hoping to be back Thursday. So, you don't love to hear that.
No, I don't. It's like, when the team is winning, you want the coach there. You want the manager there.
Yeah.
And you want, as much as I can't believe that the Rangers have won 50 games. You have to say that the changing of the coach is a big part of that.
Sure.
Especially in the game of hockey, because they switch coaches, like it's bingo.
Mm-hmm.
And, this coach has brought the best out in his team, and the players are playing at a high level, especially the goalie. But this team is playing, the Mets are playing the way they're playing, I believe, not only because they have good players, but because they have a manager that's, is a baseball guy. He's a real hardcore baseball guy. And all you want is a guy that knows all the roles, knows all the nuances of the game, and then takes those nuances in preparation and uses them in order for his team to win games. I mean, the fact that he did that on the appeal play, and the fact that the players then were asked the question by the beat writers about, have you ever seen that before? What does that mean? And every player, to a man that was interviewed, was talking about how, we've talked about it. It's all about preparation. It's all about understanding. We think sometimes we just send the 9 guys out and let them go play. No. See, this is what I worry about, with the Nets. I worry about that with the Nets because it's okay, you got 2 guys. Here's the basketball. Go make some plays, guys. If you don't have a rhyme or reason in the really the nut crunching time of the game, and you're just asking 2 guys to go out there and do something spectacular, I think you're asking for defeat. I mean, if you have a set play, or if you have an understanding of what's going on and where you are, do you call a timeout? Don't you call a timeout? How do you play defense? All of those things go back to the coach. And I have to say, the manager for the Mets is doing great. The head coach for the Rangers has turned this team around, along with the new GM and Chris Drury. And I got to tell you, I'm happy as hell.
Yeah,
I come here this morning there's nothing I can bitch about.
Well, yeah, and then that's what we've been doing a lot of the last couple of years because everybody's been bad.
Yes.
I mean, everybody. I mean, your team had to blow it up last year going into this year. I mean, the Islanders were really the only team. And the Yankees, even though they made it to the wild card game, that was a massive underachievement for them. And the Mets had a miserable year last year. New York football is a joke. So we've been going through. The Knicks, of course, gave us a little bit of life last year, but ended up getting roasted in the playoffs by the Hawks. So, I mean, there hasn't been a lot of positivity. So for those who are excited about whatever right now, you're allowed to be excited about it because we haven't had a lot of it.
Yeah, well, I'm excited. I don't care what you say. I'm really jacked, man. And
I know.
And you, by the way, you're wearing your green Celtic pullover again.
That's right, a little quarter zip Celtic pullover today, yeah.
I mean, you are just, I saw, what's his name, Marash running around with a Nets jersey on.
Yeah, I know.
I mean.
I think that was actually a Nets flag that he turned into a jersey.
I have to say something. I like the kid.
You do?
I do. I like Marash.
Yeah, how could you not like him?
I think he's funny.
He's a South Shore guy.
He's a South Shore guy. He's one of us.
He's a PVC fence above ground pool guy, too.
Yes, exactly. He's perfect. I mean, he fits the stereotype.
He's like the mascot.
Yeah. Yes, he's the Long Island South Shore mascot.
Right.
But, I mean, he's wearing a Nets jersey. It looks like it's like a sausage packed into a tight, packaging.
Yeah, sausage casing is what you're looking for?
Yeah, I guess sausage casing would be it. Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, how old is he? Is he your age?
He is a few years younger than me, I believe.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with, I'm not against, guys wearing jerseys. I'm not, because I wear jerseys every now and again too, and I'm not against it. Believe me, I'm not against it. But
the basketball jersey.
I mean, you gotta stand in front of the mirror and just say, hey, do I look good today? And you have to be honest with yourself. No, you look like a sausage casing, stuffing a sausage in there. Right, exactly.
Yeah, basketball jersey's tough on someone that's not in shape. Let's put it this way. I would never put on, I was, because I bought some stuff, obviously, some Celtic stuff, and I went
your money.
I went quarter zip is what I did.
Yeah.
No, I didn't waste my money. I'm so proud to put this on today, man. I can't. Pissing off all those Nets fans. This is the greatest thing ever. I'd pay double for what I paid for this thing.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we get Marash in here a little bit later and we could show the people who are watching on CBS Sports Network. But it's a little just a little embarrassing.
Yeah. Just the jersey when you're an adult and you're a big guy like that, not becoming.
I mean, if you had a net quarter zip like you have on.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like, so I was going to buy
or a golf shirt or something.
I was going to buy like a Tatum jersey or something, but I was like, nah, this is more of a classy look.
Like a football or a hockey jersey is great. Hockey jerseys tend to be a little bit bigger.
Sure, right.
Everything looks good. I think, is he an Islander fan?
No, he's a Ranger fan.
He's a Ranger. So I just, it's a little embarrassing that he's running around here with this jersey on. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know where he came up with the Nets because he's a Yankees, Giants, Rangers, Nets fan. So
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he was a big Julius Erving guy back in the day.
Yeah, I don't think so.
He was alive.
Little before his
time. I don't think he was alive.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.